touch something. So load the chat. You see this? You already know this application. Look at this, all this, the code base here. Look at the code base here and just simply look at here. What I said, I'm just proving you one by one. There is no server information. There is only the endpoint, right? That's it. Simple. This API is for the load the chat, load the notification. Who wrote this endpoint? Who wrote this logic? Answer me. Who wrote the no, you have to say backend software engineer. Then at this moment, he should be able to segregate the people. It's a backend software engineer wrote the logic. Who deployed the code? CloudOps engineer. Now who is going to test it? QA. But who built the mobile app? Mobile app developer. And then what they build? What is the combination? Combination of the, it's a fully JavaScript. It's a React Native. It's a JavaScript. And then what is the endpoint here? This is the endpoint. Let's go next one. Get the navigation, right? You know this now. Now you guys learn the application development. Get the navigation, get the push token. Yeah, look at this. All the code base is here. All the code base is here. But where is the endpoint? Here is the endpoint, right? The code is code base, the whole code, there is an endpoint. If you remove this endpoint, this functionality will not work. Let's go back. So in this PNG, we call the asset. All the icon or the icon, you see the dog on the app. You see the previous, you see the splash, you see the sheets, you see all of this on the app is actually the .png file. So this is the code base, actually the structure. We'll be showing you the code base as well. Don't worry about it. Good. And now actually it is the code structure. Faster development, easier maintenance, better usability. But look at this, all .js. Look at this, all extension is JavaScript. So React Native is the framework, but the coding language is JavaScript. Good. So look at this. That's actually the file structure. Program content, message, index, and then what is called there is a route, web view, workshop route. Look at this. There is all these things you see on the mobile app doing behind the scene. That's actually the code base is doing behind the scene. Let's go continue. Added here the base color. We have the base color, right? Do you know this? The TS4 is base color 062539. That's our brand color. So we can change the color into the color, like you see this color here. This is the color. And that's the primary color on the app. You control. Good. So everything is controlled separately so that you can change anytime. If the company decided change the brand color, will come here, done. Good. Interesting, right? Let's continue. And production equal to true. Remember, the code is the same, environment is different. It is the production. If I set up production equal to false, then it is lower environment. I say the production equal to true, means this code is going to the App Store and the Play Store. Now easy, right? Because so many things is related to one another. And now splash screen, you guys see when you guys open the app, and that's actually the code base. I'm just giving you the like a simple snippet, right? You can change anytime, but it seems like there is no API here, right? So not every functionality need to have the API, which is, this is an example, right? Not every app or every button doesn't need the API. This is an example, right? So it's like the flash. You guys know the flash, right? Just making some like something flashing on your eyes, and that's it. So that's the code base. Let's continue. Now you are in the sign-in screen. Correct? You are in the sign-in screen. So look at this carefully. That's the user login. User is email and password. They are passing the two parameters, two information. One is email, one is password. So you see this login endpoint, and there is 2 field of data, right? That's it. Of course, you don't need to understand all the code, but that's the endpoint. All my point is I'm showing you the endpoint in the file, right? There is no HTML, CSS here. I don't think so. I don't think there is HTML, CSS. It's all of the React Native code. It's a React Native code. You are just calling the endpoint. Let's go, continue. Now, the home screen, right? That's the home screen. This is the home screen code base, right? And there is an API. There is an API here. Is this the API, Pratik? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, there is no API.
No.
Home screen, there is no API. So what we found out in the TS4 is mobile app. I don't know, at least on this screen, I do not see that, but there is no API needed because this is just the another page that we put all the button, correct? There is no API. So now we are proving that not all the functionality, all the skin doesn't need the API. Let's go continue. Now we are in the navigation. So you guys are familiar with this field as well, right? Calendar, custom header, home stack, main tab, mock interview, my documents, my program, and there is a route.js. So look at this. So all these things you see, there is a JavaScript file name here as well. And the route means nothing but the API endpoint. You're just routing them where they go. Yeah, let's continue with this. Now you're in the chat, right? In the chat, look at this. What is happening? There is a API here. Of course, maybe the whole code base, there is multiple API, but there is an API here. Well, I'm going quick because we will go actual code base. So you guys will know, okay? So look at this, the chat, and this is actually the code base. And there is an API. So now the question is, for the quality assurance, so since the whole app is driving through the API, whole web is driving all the API, desktop app is driving through the API, where you should focus for your testing? Your backend testing, your API testing, right? That's the reason. That's the reason in the modern application development, based on the API, right after this, API automation is precise, API automation to the point, it is actually driving the business force. That's the reason. You see the simple thing and the Postman, they actually mean powerful for the business, for the quality assurance. Okay. And if you guys remember that gentleman, what is his name? Jason, right? On the Java software engineering, he was just building all the API, right? And he was testing the Postman for the testing. It's a logic. It's all about the business logic. Because this is the client. Client actually calling all the API, which is this. Without this API, this screen will not popping up. If we remove this, someday we'll be removing the things and you guys will not be able to use. You guys start complaining, hey, it's not working, right? So that's the API. Now let's continue. So this is the another screen. You guys know this. That's the course content API. If you go on the desktop, same API. If you go onto the web, same API. Because there is one backend and all the clients are using same API. Same endpoint, there is a multi-client can be unlimited, but they are using the consuming the same endpoint. So that's the program details screen. Now let's go to the workshop video, right? So workshop video, there is the endpoint is here, user program. Look at this. So this is the same for the web, same for the desktop, same for the mobile, but there is only the one endpoint from the backend. So now let's go to the My Document screen, right? On the My Document screen, interview, answer, and then what is called? And that's actually the My Document screen. Is it the same thing? I don't know if they're pulling the same information. But so you can see this here, but we showed you last week how you can inspect the website to find out the API information. Remember? We showed you the last week. So now you can say, now you are seeing this. You can go back to the website. You can inspect the website and you can find out from the network tab, You can find the same payload, means same API endpoint. Then you can, by your own eyes, yes, the same API is implemented for the all client, mobile, desktop, and the website. So let's continue. Navigation screen, and there is a, like a, we actually did the, here notification here, notification, there is an endpoint here. Mark read, mark unread, there will be here. Look at this. I don't know what it is here. I don't know exactly. We can see that there is a, oh, this is just JPEG. There is a, like the images here. We're not reading the code. We're just simply because that's my goal. Because I know the API, right? I know the Swagger API. At least I can come and compare. Oh, you put the wrong API. That's the reason it's not working, right? So you don't need to read the code. You do not. Your goal is to not the reading the code. You know the logic that this is the API need to be verified. Cloud apps can do the same thing. So debugging something everybody can do when they understand what they're doing. Debugging is not the one-man show. Sometimes when the production bug happens, things does not work in our mind properly. Even though everybody knows what is doing, but that's the reason we work together as a team. We all get into the same room and we find out the issues step by step. And look at this calendar screen. Calendar has the API. And that's the reason if you do the, hey, there is a technical question now I want to ask you. How you guys find out you create the calendar on the website, how do you see in the desktop app and the mobile app? How do you see that? Because the endpoint, the API. Because when you created it, it is already updated in the backend. Now all the app user also updated. But we'll cover later. There is a special, the application is called the Redis. You'll know more detail. That's the cloud of the actually all the backend, like the development process and procedure. That's the, do you know how I remember when you logged in? Know how we see when you logged in? That's the special software. It's called the Redis. It's in-memory database. The purpose of the database, it tracks the user from how many devices user logged in. When was the last login? This goes to your resume in your environment, because that's how it is. But deployment done by the cloud ops. You will be testing as well, because we are developing new testing tools to test the Redis. The purpose of the Redis is you can see a user logged in mobile, 5 browser, 10 devices. So you can see. And you can limit as well. After 4, then you can stop them. Because there's a logic. Business doesn't want this, too many. Okay. Now let's go to the calendar screen. Of course, calendar screen, we're adding all the information, all this information, and we have the API. What is the API? We have the endpoint, right? What is? We have the endpoint. Do we have the endpoint here? We have the, remember in the axios.get. Do you guys remember the get, post, put? Remember this? The API method? This is it. This is simple. This all makes sense, right? They're all work the same way. And let's go to the my progress. Do you guys know my progress is very complex? Checking the my progress, everybody knows, oh, it's very slow, right? Everybody knows my progress, leaderboard, they're slow. Do you guys know how it works? It actually combines the data from everywhere and show you the data. It's just reading your behavior, reading your report, and it show the report to everyone. So that's the reason it's combined so many data and then show you. If the data is reading correct or not, that's you have to testing separately. They found the bug. She said, Madhya said, hey, I texted in the TS for you over 300 times. Why it shows only this amount of time? Means she got the bug. So then we fix it. Madhya, is it good now?
I haven't checked.
Okay, check it now. So you are not testing the actually the you are seeing the outcome, but your testing is actually specific to the feature. But this is actually the API here. That's the my progress bar. What is the API? I don't see the API. Probably we did not collect the endpoint here. And this is actually the leaderboard. That's the where we decided to show the leaderboard already on the app. That's the reason. This is the get. Remember the get means many times reading, right? That's what we're doing. We're not writing anything here, right? So does it make sense? Why the different functionality does different thing? I am just reading the information. That's the reason API is dot get, and the endpoint is progress/leaderboard. So now let's go to the index and the skill image. Let's go see what time it is. 12:08. We're going to go actually the git ignore more details and stopping.